What's up, everybody? Dillio coming to you again, and this is part 3 of the Making the Magic Box video series. The song featured is the first song on my album. It's called Slide By Me, and in this video we're going to talk about how to record your vocals and how to mix them, and certain tips and tricks that I like to use when I create vocals on here. So what I'm going to do is going to play an example of the background hooks in my song, and then we're going to break it down. So here's a little sample of that vocal isolated by itself.
You can slide by me. You can slide by me. You can slide by me. You can slide by me.
So what you hear is kind of a very tight vocal effect where I got about 8 vocals going on right now. I got them broken down into basically an octave format right here. So if I mute the first side here, we'll hear 4 channels by itself.
You can slide by me.
And if I isolate the other 4 vocals, you get an octave up higher.
You can slide by me.
So one of the first things I like to do is basically, as you can see here, when I'm recording one part of the harmony of a background vocal, I typically like to do 4 layers. Sometimes 3 layers works good. And if we look at this, you can see that I have about 4 channels right there. And you can see that I have them assigned to the same bus. And that same bus sends effects out to like delays and stuff like that. Obviously, if I cut that, or if I mute that send to the effects,
you can slide.
There's no delay there. And we can break it down even further. First things first, I always typically will pan the vocals left and right, not fully left, fully right. So that way that kind of helps me get a nice stereo image without sacrificing the channel coming out the other speaker in case they only have one speaker coming out or they're listening to a mono system. And then what I like to do is add a few effects to bring it together. So let's go ahead and take a look at the effects. So I got a fat channel on here, and on this fat channel I have a gate to block out some noise. And then on top of that, I put a high pass filter on there to remove any little rumblings or anything like that, just so it doesn't slip through into the sub of the mix and makes things muddy and stuff like that. So that's pretty much a big part of it right there. And so what we have is also some pitch correction. So I'm using Waves Tune for that, and Waves Tune is basically set to the scale of the song. So I kind of have a F minor scale, F natural minor scale right there to both of those. So let's go ahead and take off the voice correction and let's hear how it sounds without that. And you hear me sing a little sharp on this vocal right here. So here it is without the pitch correction.
You can slide by me. You can slide by me.
Now let's do that again with the pitch correction. You're going to hear a little bit less of a washing effect, more everything being perfectly on tune.
You can slide.
Here we go again.
You can slide by me. You can slide.
Now let's go ahead and take off all the gates and high pass filters. Let's hear how that sounds. You're going to hear a lot more noise and more effects, and it probably going to hear some bleed through from the headphones.
You can slide by me. You can slide by me.
And if you kind of have to have a sub to hear this, but I can hear in my sub the low rumblings that are coming through the vocals, and that's just a little trick I do to kind of clean up those vocals a little bit. So with a little bit of gating, a little bit of effects there, you can kind of minimize those effects right there. So let's check out the high vocals. Let's show you how I did that there.
You can slide.
Same thing here.
Slide by me.
But if I take off the tune and the high pass filters and the gating, we're going to hear a little bit more flawed vocals. But it might sound a little bit more washed and more chorusy, which could be a cool effect.
You can slide by me. You can slide by me. You can slide.
And in this situation right here, I can actually hear the that I didn't turn off all my speakers when I recorded this in my recording booth, because I could definitely hear a lot of the kick coming through. So in order to eliminate that, once again, you just want to go ahead and get into that channel. You want to high pass those vocals out. That's typically a rule of thumb, is that every time I cut a vocal, I high pass automatically. It's just a habit that helps clean vocals up. And then I like to gate just to kind of help the sound come out a little bit more together. Now, the thing about pitch correction is, in this instance right here, if we go back to the vocals here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to suspend this group by dissolving a group here. And we're going to go ahead and just listen to 2. And let's see if I can add a little bit more of a washing effect between 2 vocals.
You can slide slide by me.
Let's take off the tune. Let's hear that difference right there.
You can slide by me.
So it wasn't too bad, but there's still flaws I like to iron out. A cool trick that I like to do when I deal with pitch correction is that I actually like to adjust the main reference tone up maybe 3 cents like that. And let's see if we can hear a different effect.
Slide by me. You can slide.
You get more of a wash effect there.
Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide. You can slide by me.
All right, and let's add those effects back in. Let's hear it with the delay.
You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide.
Add the octaves up there.
Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide.
I can hear myself drift a little bit in pitch on the high octaves, so go ahead and activate that pitch correction in. Make those really tight.
Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide.
And I'll just show you how much the pitch correction can help, because what I'm going to do is actually isolate some of the vocals here on the high octaves. You're going to really hear me mess up on my vocals. So let's go ahead and isolate like maybe one channel there. I'm going to remove this channel from a group. I'm going to dissolve that group. And this is a Studio One, and I didn't even mention what platform I was using, so sorry about that. But this is in Studio One 3, and we're going to listen to one of my high falsetto vocals. We're just going to hear how flawed it is. We're going to take away all the things that make it sound pretty and show you what it really sounds like.
You can slide. Slide by me.
And you should be hearing it on the left channel because it's panned to the left. If I pan it to the right, left, you should hear it change.
Slide. Slide by me. You can slide.
Well, actually, it's correct. Just let me turn it off, and you'll hear the difference now. This is without pitch correction.
Slide. Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide.
And sometimes you might want to leave those flaws in. Sometimes that adds character. It's up to you as the creative individual or the producer of the song to say, okay, yeah, I'm cool with these flaws or I'm not. In this case, I didn't want them in there. So I pitch corrected them out with the Waves Tune plugin. And let's see how it sounds now.
You can slide. Slide by me. You can slide. Slide by me.
Let's add those other four in
You
there.
can slide.
And the octave.
Slide by me. You can slide. You can slide by me.
And also signal rounding is very important. That's why I like to bust all my background vocals down to one sub mix. And then what I do to control one part is I actually will group four of the channels together like that by highlighting the options. And then what I'll do is I'll create a group so that way I can adjust them all like that when I need to. And then send them all to the same bus as highlighted by the lower square here. Bus 2, bus 2, bus 2, bus 2. Head that over to bus 2, and that's where they all end up at. And then if we move on to this one, there's another part of the song where I kind of do a little bit more. You're going to hear a little bit more things like that. So let's check that out.
You can slide by me. You can slide on. Don't be afraid to slide on. Put me on. You know we got it to slide on. You can slide on. Don't be afraid to slide on. Put me on. You know we got it to slide on. You can slide on.
So I'm just doing different parts and stuff like that, but mainly kind of like, again, what the rule of thumb I like to use is 4 vocal parts for one part of the harmony. There's no one set rule. If you want 10 for one part of harmony, feel free to do that, but just be ready to turn them down so you don't overload your buses. So let's hear all the background vocals along with the song to close out this video right here. And this is how it sounds like all together.
You can slide, yeah. Slide by me. You can slide, yeah.
And even over here.
You can slide by me. You can slide. Don't be afraid to slide. Put me on. You know we got it to slide. You can slide. Don't be afraid to slide. You can slide by me.
So, you know, when you put flawed vocals against a whole mix, even when you pitch correct them and stuff like that, they tend to sound better because other parts of the music, sorry, I'm just in my microphone. Other parts of the music don't quite, well, they kind of cover up a lot of flaws and kind of make more of the magic happen. So keep that in mind. So I guess a rule of thumb I like to say is that don't get so caught up in the vocals being perfect all the time. Yes, you want perfect vocals, and yes, once it's recorded and put out, it's there forever. But just know that the overall quality of the song will not be diminished, and people enjoying the song. I mean, you play this in a loud club off of a speaker system that's not that great. They're not going to hear or care about this, the consumer. It's mostly us audio guys and producers and people in the game who care about this stuff. But just because a vocal is 1 or 2 cents off a pitch isn't going to ruin the song or ruin the experience for the listener. All right, so stay tuned for more. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like these type of videos, please let me know in the comments. Thumbing up this video, subscribing, and sharing it on social media platforms, sharing it on Reddit, Facebook, really helps this channel grow and stuff like that. I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna get out here and make sure you check this out. All right, peace. Hey, what's up? Before you go, make sure you hit up DillioT2K.com and check out Khemikals, my preset library for Massive. There's over 100 sounds like I got on there, and also a second library of sounds right there that you can use for trap, pop music, EDM, trap soul, funk, old school R&B. All of that's on there. Make sure you check that out, and also add my album to your playlist, your Spotify playlist, whatever playlist you got. Magic Box by Dillio. Check that out. All the links are in the description below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.